us and say, yo, what up?
Yo, what up?
How's it going, man?
It's going good. Everything's good.
Good to hear. So, Toga, set 3 Toga, hit me with the pitch.
So the pitch is, I'm lazy. This is pretty much Bromley's Toga aggro list that he played and topped with, I think, 2 or 3 events back.
Sure.
However, I was lazy, went through the set 3 stuff, and added the cards that just made sense easily. So I didn't look at the rest, which is kind of what I'm hoping we can do today. Like, obviously, bench press is in there, because bench press is just Toga card with Shoji on it.
Right.
Carbo loading's in there, because carbo loading is also just Toga card.
Yeah.
Piercing Needle's in there, because it's actually the only one that is a Toga card. And then I even threw I like Deku's Notebook. I think it's a spicy one-up that just kills people sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it says that like if they're holding the low block for the tongue whip, you can just like turn it to high and be like super chill with it.
Yeah, any last attack basically that you're just trying to get through for game, just Deku's Notebook, say what's up, and change what you need. But yeah, the main reason, like the only issue that you really face with set 2 Toga, this version of Toga with the long stringy alleyway lines, is sometimes like your attacks just don't get a lot of damage. Like the only way to really get good damage is tight-lipped flipping or blowing up with self-sacrifice set 2. So it's really hard to warrant going for extra damage on your, if you're not able to burst them down, and when you're doing your poke turns and building, it's hard to sometimes get reliable damage and stuff that's actually worth it. Meanwhile, here with bench press and carbo loading alone, just those one of each of those out makes my Crone Frog that I play for basically free when I make it not count, instead of being a 5 high for 5 that when they block it lose 1, it's now a 5 high for 9 that if they block they still lose 1, and I get to ready my carbo loading. So it's just I think this is probably going to be the list, not the list, but the deck I end up playing for Nationals whenever it comes around. Going to do a lot more testing. I've been testing a little bit with it as of now, but main goal here today is maybe get it down to 60 cards, just because I like having those nice round numbers. I think it's pretty close. Maybe find some low blocks. They're like, obviously I don't have Observant Student in there, which I can put in there, but I just was making cuts, and that was one of the things I cut for bench press. But I think it's going to have to end up coming back in with just being stuck at those 10 low blocks and bench press being a +3. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm here for it. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that we get to do. And I'm gonna see about slamming a couple cool cards in your deck and see what we could talk about.
I'm a fan of cool cards.
I'm a fan of cool. Hey, you and me both, brother. Obviously 4 of that. There's 2 of that in your sideboard. Okay. All right. Whew. I think this card is really neat. Doing the big looking. These cards are fine. I don't think you need no, I don't think you need that card. And you're not playing Frog Lashing? Did you just not want to?
Why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna be real. I was thinking about stuff about talking about how I preferred the more mid-range Toga when we had Frog Lashing. But now I have to do degenerate Tokoyami type stuff now because they took my card.
Hey, this is their
now
fault.
I have to be degenerate like the rest of you.
This is their fault. All right, buddy. All right, let's see what we've added to the sideboard. First and foremost, full on attack mode is just like extra damage at the destroy cost. It's like a different version of what self-sacrifice is doing. Do you need this card? No, but it's just Toga again, right? Like if they don't block, they burn 1, you take 1, or you heal 1. That's cool.
Just slowly tick them down. Okay, that's cool.
Showing off. If you can find the damage, and this combined with carbo loading is nuts. It just says that your stuff still doesn't count as progressive, so every card doesn't count, right? The things in the middle, right? Like it says that like you're going back alley feels way better whenever you can just like give it if you can find the 5 damage, right? Like a bunch of floatings, and then or you could like a bunch of that, and then carbo loading. You commit this and say that it doesn't count, and then you build in more stuff. I don't think it's necessarily what you need. It's a four check, but an option, right? So you can.
There's already a lot of 4 checks in the list too.
High value target. This is an obvious low block that you missed. Note taking, because we're playing a couple good punches. This just guarantees that your future charge hits. This just guarantees that your back alley haymaker hits. Once again, spam. An observant student just confirms your next check, right? Maybe they don't block, right? And you've got like Excited for Blood and Toga or whatever. You just look at the top card of your deck and be like, this is a 5. I know I don't need to block this. I know I don't need to waste my Toga, right? Because if you want to draw the card, you're gonna draw the card. You're playing as Toga. Either you hit or whatever, right? I think Observant Student's actually very, very good in this deck because it lets you say, yo, I don't want to use Toga right now.
Sure, it's something I definitely noticed when I was like, I've played 3 or 4 matches with the list as was that you saw. I added the deck boost notebook in. I haven't tested it with it yet. But that was something I was missing. I did honestly just miss that little niche thing of just being able to know what the top card is like. Okay, that's a nice little 5 check I can leave there for my next attack. Or if it is the attack, just being like, okay, I need to crack Toga.
Correct.
So yeah,
I think this is so cool, and you will not be writing it on your nationals list. I'm excited for you to test this card and have fun with it. It's the first thing to go.
I feel like I feel like if I was still playing the mid range list, it would have definitely probably been better, just because you want to get like using that on like if Frog Lashing was still around, would be nice. But it's especially with this deck. The more I was thinking about it after adding it before coming on, it was on my kill turns that I'm going to kill. Let's be real, once I get to like the alleyway ambush phase, they're either gonna block my attacks or they're not. They probably either have no hand or no foundations to block with. So it's kind of just win more, I guess.
I agree. The best thing... Sorry, I hit a yawn. The best thing you can do with this card is because obviously they have to hold a single low block, right? Everything else is either a mid or a high. They hold one low block for your tongue whip, and you say that it's a high. Right?
Yeah.
That's the play. But besides this card does not have a lot of value.
Get out of here.
Yeah. How do you like Piercing Needle?
I'm gonna be real with you. In the games I was testing it, I like the card.
I personally,
I don't know about 3 of like, but I think it just, especially with all the free damage we have now with bench press, carbo loading, and just the other stuff. Sometimes you can honestly just make it a 6 mid for 5 that on a poke turn. That's just a good enough because then it sits in momentum for another 2 damage later on. Sure.
I know that like there's a lot of like I'm just gonna kill you in 1 turn, and so getting it to momentum is the tough part for me personally. I think something along the lines of like an instant shining flash to make things not to be a little easier to play on later, right? Because we have to get to our 5 cards in card pool in order to make this happen, right? If we don't get there with the foundations and whatever, and we'd rather than be attack cards than foundations, right? I don't want to throw 3 attacks then 2 foundations then my alleyways. I want to throw 4 attacks and then my alleyways, and then instant shining flash helps you get there because of the making the next one not as tough to play.
Here you go.
Although
I'll move it. Yeah.
This card's great deadlock threat, right? Deadlock.
That's what I like about. Yeah, that's
great. It's very, very good.
That's kind of the whole sideboard's plan, is just for those Momo, Kirishima 2, those matchups that are going to go long, the wall decks. It's just there so that whenever I have like I have Trey Sheik in the there for the deadlock in there, first villain in there. I may just end up making a spot for that because I'm gonna be real with you. I love Plus Ultra as a card, but I don't know about using it just as a block. I know that it's viable, it's good, but I don't know if there's other things that could be better.
True, very true. Let's now talk about the things that I think that you have to be in the main board, right? 3 tight-lipped is correct. You should be playing 4 of this card. This card's not fair.
Know.
This card,
it's free damage.
Card is way better than this card. Way better. This card is just way better. It's a 0 diff that can be built in with back alley. It does not cost you anything to use the ability because you're never going to cycle anyways. You're just going to kill them first. This card is nuts. This card is incredible. This card should also be up to a 3 of, maybe a 4 of, just because of the low block, because we're cutting bench pressings. I think this goes down to a 2 because it's cute if we have it, but it's a 2 diff. I think that this.
I was mainly testing it. It was the main thing. It was nice being able to reliably see it.
To a 4 of. This card goes up to a 4 of.
Yep.
And then what? Hello, release. And then what does this do? 64, and the goal is to get to the 60, right?
As close to 60 possible. Like I said, 64 is not the end of the world, especially with me playing like ready set goes and stuff. So
Love it. I think Cardwell loading is actually going to end up being at a 2 of, and the reason
it's a 3 shot.
This card's very good. Commit 1 Foundation : is not very aggressive, right? For a string deck, it's very good for pack all this damage on 1 move. It's not very good as we go on, and I've just increased your 0 diff count and your 1 diff count, right? And I've taken out the meaty moves. This card's very good under the life symbol that's playing a lot of stuff. I actually think that this card could go down to a 1 of and be super neat to find, but not necessary, and you'd feel great.
Yeah. I think I like it better too. I just like it because I feel like with Toga, it's as simple as committing it down on your. Because here's what I think is: you have this and Excited for Blood out. You commit this itself with its own effect. Give your Crone Frog or whatever, your back alley, whatever attack you led with, +3 damage. Use your Toga enhance to give it the +1 speed, and if they block, they guarantee lose life. And then you get the ready, and then you get it again. You can, after using your Excited for Blood, just on your next attack, commit Excited for Blood to go ahead and get another free 3 damage. Because if you didn't flip it, you don't really need it for the rest of the turn at that point. So.
Can I ask, what are some of the other decks that you play? Do
My
you play
personal
Good
decks,
or Earth or Void?
I play a lot of Void. I've played Eraserhead all of set 1 and into 2.
Okay.
And I've started playing like Earth Cementos and Earth Kurashima 2 just to get familiar with the Earth symbol, because I feel like that's the best way to know how to play against it, is to play it yourself and see what it's like.
How often has commit hardened for +3 damage been impactful in your gameplay?
In set 1, Eraserhead, it was nice to always be able to commit it for the 2 damage on stuff, and then when I played Frenzy, it was cool to get the +3. But I mean, I get what you're saying.
That's just what this card does, but you get to do it twice.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think that you need 2 of it. I think you need 1 of it, and this card counts as 2 foundations in your deck, right?
I hear you.
I think the better part about this card, honestly, is not even committing it for its ability. It's you check poorly and you commit the Cardwell loading, you use Toga, they block it, and then you ready it back. That is
one of the things that, I did that a couple of times, and it felt good to just have on my long strings. Because it's basically, in a way, it's like another Summon with style, except I don't have to blow anything up. I just get to do it for playing my character.
Correct. 100%. Which means that, like, it's just your 5th Summon with style that sometimes also pumps damage a bit.
Yeah.
Right?
I hear you.
But if you're stuck on 2, we'll slam in 2.
I'm going to try it at 1. I'll try it at 1, see how reliably I see it. If I feel like I'm not finding it enough, I'll probably bump it back up to 2.
Also, so as opposed to not finding it, are you missing it? Do you wish you had this card?
True.
Right? Because that's like the job of 1 of cards of just being like, oh, this is nice. Oh, this is fun. This is a neat treat.
It's a luxury, not a necessity.
100%.
I hear you.
Besides that, I mean, we're at 62. Your low blocks suck, but that's okay. I think, what's this number got to be, right? You wanted it to be 60?
I wanted it at 60. Like I said, 62 is fine. 60, just around the lower half of 60. I don't want us to be at 65 or above. I feel like I just want to be able to consistently find everything is the main point. And I know I'm Toga, so I draw my entire deck basically, but sometimes the higher that number gets, it's not as reliable to draw through it, I feel.
You could cut passing. You've got a better passing.
I'm not real. The amount of times I found myself committing passing just as a foundation and not even really using the draw, because I'm passing back to them after throwing out an attack. If I wasn't able to kill them, I just throw an attack, build out, and then I'm like, I still have like 4 cards in hand. Why do I don't need a draw.
Right.
And plus that's just a mid block.
Let's get rid of it. Let's actually get rid of it. I think I'm down. This is very attack heavy for your deck. You're going to be swinging. Just I know that's your goal, but just for everybody at home, if you decide to to net deck this one, you're gonna be swinging as often as you possibly can.
Maybe we can, like I said, I was looking for 60, but you do bring up valid concerns. Maybe we try to fit some of those low blocks, like maybe get a couple copies of Observant Student, or
I would love a 2 of Observant Student. Call it a day.
Yeah, get that in there, and then
I think 12 is a totally fine number.
I'm still thinking about
the so tight.
And I'm still thinking about the Piercing Needle. I mean, the card escapes me. It's
Instant Shiny Flash.
Yeah, Aoyama's low block.
Yeah. The thing is like this is a high block. This is a high block.
No, that's the life issues problem, especially with Toga, is everything's a high block.
I think what you should probably do, honestly, is just like test it a little bit more with Piercing Needle, and then like every time you play Piercing Needle, be like, all right, did I not kill them because I couldn't play one more attack? Because that's all that card does, right? It's just a 4 high for 4, right? It's a 4 high for 4. Did they win because they have a momentum, right? Like, what do you do versus Moneta? I mean, obviously, the real answer is you kill them, and then this card is way better because he puts cards in your card pool.
He gets me there for free.
He gets you there for free, but he does just like tank your speed, and so like the first 2 moves that you throw will hit, or will be blocked, right?
Instant Shining Flash messes with that momentum of his too.
Correct, and that's the question, right? Did you lose due to a big powerful? Did you lose to a big EX because I couldn't interact with their momentum? What happens here?
I hear you, because this attack gets a lot of free stats, but that's pretty much it. Aside from sitting in momentum to get the damage. I mean, I like the X3 is nice. The Deadlock Stun 3 is busted, but it's about how often that comes there up. I guess.
How often are you going to Deadlock, right? Like, there's the question.
I don't think I want to. Hopefully, they're not alive long enough to go into Deadlock, and the only ones I see doing that are, like I said, Momo K2, but that's what the Sideboard's for.
Correct.
I hear you.
So maybe just like play Piercing Needle to begin with, and then like as you're going, just like for fun, just like throw 3 on the TTS table or in your deck box and be like, for this game, I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna switch these ones. I've got a 13 card sideboard. It's like, I'm sure your local testing, like it doesn't matter. When you bring this deck onto TTS, it's going to give you 16 cards, right? So like you'll have the cards if you just put them in there.
For sure. Okay.
Final thoughts?
I like it. I like the, like I said, I'm going to definitely pay more attention to the Piercing Needle and the Carbo loading to see how I'm feeling about them as I test a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get that number out for all we know. Next time we talk, it maybe an Instant Shining Flash in the attack lineup instead, just because that's one of the things like you recommended to me the last time I brought you Live Toga when it was still the Frog Lashing build was Instant Shining Flash, and I love that for the entire provisional that I played it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the other thing that you could do, right, and this might just get crazy, is like you could just say fuck the low blocks. You could take out these bench pressings and just put in the 2 more Carbo loadings, put New Training Method up to a 4 of, and then just like cheat these in, right? And then like you've just got a bunch of foundations that just re-ready themselves, right?
Yeah,
so
that
might actually be the answer. Is you have Force Someone with Style for Carbo loading, and you barely touch the enhance, you just trigger the responses.
I'm literally just here to make sure I can play my cards.
100%. This is your amphibious.
That's another niche thing I can. I'll probably make a second list just with that ideal behind it. Copy this one over and just make some switches so I can have both of them imported ready.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
For sure.
Any final thoughts?
Looks sick. I'll definitely. I don't know. I may end up making some changes, revising it, and coming back again next month before Nationals, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, hey, what's important is you come and you give me more information, right?
For sure. That's all that. Yeah, you can only do as much as you can with what I give.
Right. All right, man. Let me choose the list, and you have a good rest of your night, okay?
Yeah, same to you, Tam. Appreciate it, man. Peace.